Right now there is a move to reboot a lot of television shows, and they're doing it in small bits.
Doing a show like Zorro is a big responsibility. You don't go out and say, oh, please, I'd like to make a show of Zorro and go sell it. First of all, you have to understand Zorro.
It's always interesting when you're doing a spin-off to ask yourself, how much should it be the same and how different should it be?
I love that Christopher Lambert version. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his anyway from Highlander. I think, and that version is different again, to the poem, of course. And the Zemeckis film, which was the animated one, that's, I think most people we speak to now, that's the one that resonates with them. There's a further generation back that loved the DC graphic novels.
I thought the film was brilliant and really smart, especially for the time period. And I was also really surprised at how different this script was for the show.
There are other graphic novels as well. I even found a sort of kids version of it as well. There's all kinds of things out there, and they are all inspired by and adaptations of it.
We did 6 months of research before we even touched anything, both on the backgrounds, both on the stories, and then we understood why Zorro was the ancestor of the superhero.
I didn't see the Bondarchuk movie because it had such a great reputation, and I thought I would be too influenced by it or tempted to steal from it, so I didn't watch that. There was a lot of baggage to the novel that one could throw out that was not part of the drama. Once one done that, it's got quite a light surface, really, and it was a total joy to adapt.
Everyone's busy as well, so there's a trend right now to do miniseries, and also everyone has busy lives. That said, it still took about 8 months of my life to do this.
With the developments of CGI and what you can do with 13 episodes of TV over 5, 6, 7 seasons, you can tell these stories in great detail. And actually it means that the poems inspired James Dormer and the other writers to create this very rich, exciting world.
And it's really difficult because you know that the audience likes what they like, and so you want to make sure that you give them what they like, but you don't want it to be exactly the same, because then they can say, well, then why are we watching it twice? We're already seeing it, at 8 o'clock. We don't need to watch another one at 9.
In the previous Zorros, there's no role of women. They were very instrumental. This is why, I wanted to bring up the role of women. I wanted both boys, girls, and families to be involved. And today, you cannot write Zorro the way it's been written in the past.
With something called the Girlfriend Experience, one might think that men are the target audience, but I really believe and hope that young women will come to this show.
Tolstoy's a great writer, but he's a great storyteller as well. Lovely characters, wonderful relationships.
Boy, that's a tough one to answer myself. You'd probably have to ask them, but I guess I would say that ultimately our creative partners trust us to support their vision. They know when they bring us an idea for a show, we get it. We hear exactly what they're pitching. We help them to make it the best possible version of that show. And then we are out in front of our creators, removing obstacles from a show becoming a hit. And so I think there's a great amount of trust that we're gonna problem solve on their behalf. We're gonna champion their shows. We're gonna support them financially. And over time, we've had relationships with, people like Ryan Murphy for a decade, or Howard Gordon, who created Homeland for 22 or 3 years. These are long, long relationships.
For students studying it at school, it might offer them another take on being able to eke out of what can be at times quite a dense piece of homework to work on and pick through, and it might even make it more exciting for people too. I mean, it's very rich, and it is hugely exciting to think, there's never been a TV show. There have been all these different, animations.